National winner Belgium youngsters, Hock van den Bruel, Itegem. The national winner Belgium from Argenton 3 in the category youngsters is Hock van den Bruel, Itegem. The Pigeon was clocked on Sunday at 14:22 Central European Summer Time after a race of 550.789 kilometers, achieving an average velocity of 1,441.54 meter per minute.
Hock van den Bruel, Itegem, first national Argenton against 22,869 youngsters, fastest of 28,035 pigeons. The second national race from Argenton for the youngsters had to deal with a week's delay due to the heat wave of the week before. Normally Saturday was the most beautiful flying weather you could think of, but again clouds threw a spanner in the works. The pigeons were given freedom on Sunday and the fastest young pigeon could be found at the tandem Hock van den Bruel in Itegem, Antwerp. It was a neck-and-neck race against Rogers, Sjong, but the winners were Kurt and Ruben van den Bruel. Their young hen is also the fastest of all 28,035 pigeons that were released in Argenton, and for them so far, the most beautiful victory of their still young pigeon career at this current address. Kurt used to play together with Bart Hendricks under the name Hendricks van den Bruel. Now from 2020 he plays here together with his son Ruben under the name Hock van den Bruel, and Gel Rogers is a friend of the house who assists them every day with advice. The youngsters are weaned, and the first and second round is separate. When they all eat well and are no longer on the ground, the sexes are already separated. That is very fast, but we do this like Gel. There are no bins in the loft but only boards where they are motivated. Because couples are still not there. They are darkened from the beginning of March to the longest day and illuminated from a day or 8 to 10 after stopping the eclipse. We then keep this up until the end of the season, and then they can go into the molt. The pigeons train 1 time a day, and this is always in the morning. Before the season they train hard, but now we are already happy when the cocks fly for half an hour and the hens an hour towards the end of the week. Important for us and for the system is learning. The youngsters are taught here 20 to 25 times before they fly their first quiverain. This year they flew 4 times quiverain in quick succession with midweek flights, and then 2 times Noyen, 2 times Melon, and then Bourges. After Bourges, they flew to Noyen, and last week with the heat they stayed at home. We then drove up to 50 kilometers on Sunday morning for the pigeons of quiverain, and so on had to come home elsewhere. Driving in the week is done here max 1 time per week. Sometimes there are also weeks that will not happen, as now after Argenton that will not be the case. The sliding door principle is not used here, because the pigeons separate so quickly after the flight that they have not yet recovered before we take them apart. With Noyen this is 15 to 30 minutes, now with Argenton this is about an hour and a half, but then they do not yet have the desire to mate. Even at the basketing they do not see each other. In the field of nutrition, we fully feed the 80 fly mix, 1, 2 and 3 mixtures, and Gel's advice is followed every week. When they return home, they always get Vleegmix 3. Also, in terms of products we fully use 80, Condition Booster, Health Elixir, Probacterial, Omega Plus Oil and Recup Fast. On the day of basketing they always get clean water. The lofts were adapted in 2020, there were runs and all ceilings were open. The loft is therefore completely open, and the rear of the roof is well insulated against the heat. Everything is open in good or bad weather. The pigeons are perfectly healthy and are only vaccinated against paramyxo and smallpox, the strongest will survive. In the field of tricho we use a lot of yellow drops and cures almost never. At 1 night power the yellow drops go over the feed 1 time a week, and at 2 nights basket they get 1 in the nose weekly. When we have ridden a lot with the youngsters, we dare to do this a few days in a row over the feed. Hock van den Bruel is formed by father Kurt van den Bruel, 57, wife Nancy and the children Robin and Jolien. They independently run a sports shop. Their colony has as its foundation 75% pigeons of Gel Rogers, Bevel, the old species of Bart Hendricks, Berlar, Gert Jan Butte, Wilhelminord, Heibergstraat, Borseler, Stefan Lambrechts, Berlar and Gaston van de Wouwer, Berlar. With a pigeon at 14.22.05 hour for 550.789 kilometers and at 1,441.54 meter per minute, they were the winner at Argenton against 22,869 youngsters, and they were also the fastest of 28,035 Argenton flyers. The winner is the B22/6044638 Jow. It is a hen from mediocrity but a beautiful pigeon. She currently has one pen bump. It is a tame pigeon because wife Nancy regularly takes the pigeons in her hands. She came perfectly from the right direction but lost about 5 seconds when she walked in. The selection is primarily situated in the breeding loft. Pigeons that have no success in the breeding loft after 2 years may leave. Especially the parents of young who are kept in the first 100 national or in the first 50 provincial flies. The national victory at the Van den Bruel house is a family victory.